While everyone's fighting over Sydney and Melbourne apartments, a silent wealth creation opportunity is unfolding in Australia's regional cities. Today, we're revealing the data-backed regional markets set to outperform capitals in 2026, with some suburbs delivering double-digit growth while remaining completely under the radar. We've analyzed population growth, infrastructure pipelines, rental vacancy rates, and capital growth projections across every major regional centre in Australia. What we found will challenge everything you think you know about property investment geography. So stick around. Welcome back to the channel where data-driven investors get the edge. Today's episode is going to be a wake-up call. While Sydney and Melbourne have dominated headlines and the investors' intention, a parallel property boom is quietly building across Australia's regional centres, and it's being driven by hard fundamentals that most investors completely miss. So here's the brutal truth. Capital city markets are maturing. Sydney and Melbourne median prices have surged past the 1.8 million and 1.1 million marks respectively. Entry is expensive. Capital growth is compressed. Yield is also thin. But regional markets, they're experiencing transformational growth driven by infrastructure, property migration, and tight rental markets, all paired with median prices still well under the $700,000 mark. So today, we're exposing Australia's most compelling regional investment opportunities for 2026, backed by data on infrastructure investment, population forecasts, and vacancy rates, and actual price growth trends. So Australia's property market is experiencing a historic geographic shift. For years, capital cities ruled. Today, that's ending. Why? First, affordability crisis in capital cities is forcing migration. Sydney's median house price at $1.83 million means a 2% deposit requires over $36,000 in cash. First home buyers, young families, and investors are increasingly priced out. They're looking north and regionally. This migration isn't temporary, it's structural. And second, remote work has permanently altered location decisions. Employees no longer need to live in expensive CBD corridors. They're seeking lifestyle, affordability, and community, all available in regional centres. And third, governments are investing heavily in regional infrastructure. Over $100 billion in committed infrastructure spend is flowing to regional corridors in Queensland, New South Wales, and Tasmania over the next decade. So let's look at the data. Right? The Australian Bureau of Statistics migration data shows net interstate movement favoured Queensland, Tasmania, and regional New South Wales in the past 18 months. Tasmania's net migration hit record levels. Regional Queensland outpaced capital city growth. This isn't speculation, it's measured population flow. And here's the kicker. Regional rental markets are historically tight. Vacancy rates below 1.5% are normal, not exceptional. When rental supply is constrained, capital growth and yield compress less than you'd actually expect. You get both growth and the cash flow. So let's start with Tasmania. 5 years ago, Tasmania was the afterthought of Australian property. But today, it's the fastest growing market in the nation. The numbers are staggering. Hobart, median house price 5 years ago, $370,000. Currently, $670,000. That's an 81% increase. Unit prices at $550,000, which is up 3.8% year on year. Days on market is down to 45 days from a historical 65. Buyer demand is intense. Hobart's northern suburbs are leading the growth. North Hobart median value now sits at $580,000 with annual growth of 5.1%. Gormanston and Tolman's Hill recording even higher growth rates. Why? Gentrification, council investments in amenities, the cafe culture emergence. Sandy Bay is the prestige player with a median of $730,000, which is limiting housing stock. Premium beachfront positioning, high rental demand from international students, which leads to units in Sandy Bay now sitting at $650,000 with buy inquiries up 35% year on year. West Launceston, so looking into regional Tasmanian City, just 2 kilometers from the CBD, median house price here is $420,000. Population growth 3.2% with a vacancy rate of only 1.4%. This suburb offers capital growth runway with strong yields. Then we look into Ravenswood in Launceston, which is a growing suburb with emerging professional demographics. The median price here, $410,000. Buyer inquiries are 81% in the past year alone. That's a clear demand signal that it's accelerating. Acton in Burnie, northern Tasmanian coastal region. The median house price here is $495,000. The rental yield, 5.4%, which is exceptional for a capital growth oriented market. 5-year price growth has been 94.9%, with infrastructure upgrades and port development supporting this growth. So what is driving the Tasmanian growth? Right? It's simple. Affordability meets amenity. If you can buy quality homes for under $500,000, get rental yields above 5%, and enjoy lifestyle appeal rivaling much pricier coastal regions, why wouldn't you? Population migration from interstate is accelerating this dynamic. Looking at NAB's forecasts, Hobart prices are up 3.6% in 2026, but our data suggests that's conservative. Demand is ahead of its forecasts. Queensland's regions are experiencing what can only be described as a property renaissance. Population growth, mining sector strength, tourism recovery, and dedicated infrastructure investment are converging perfectly. Townsville, Australia's largest regional city outside of a state capital, population 390,000, growing at 4.1% annually. The median house price is currently $600,000 with an annual growth of 13.2%. But here's the stunner. Some forecasts project 25 to 30% growth for 2025. Why? It's a catastrophically tight rental market. Vacancy rate here, 0.7%. Stock on market has fallen 32% in 3 years. Properties literally aren't available for rent or for sale. This scarcity is driving explosive price growth. Townsville's economy is diversifying, defense presence is stable, tourism is booming post-COVID, and healthcare is expanding. The construction here is highly active. And this employment diversity ensures sustained rental demand. Then looking into the coastal regional city of Mackay, the population of 140,000, the median house price here, $625,000. The annual growth, 14.4%. The rental market is even tighter than Townsville at a vacancy rate under 0.9%. Mackay's economy is tied to mining, agriculture, and tourism. Recent commodity price strength has boosted the local economy and buyer confidence. Infrastructure upgrades are underway. Population is projected to grow at 4.2%. Then we look towards central Queensland's hub in Rockhampton. The median house price here is $590,000. But here's where it gets really interesting. Park Avenue, Rockhampton recorded 79% price growth in just 2 years with 0% vacancy. This isn't a fluke. Rockhampton is experiencing gentrification, younger professionals moving in, businesses investing in local economy, council funding urban renewal. Price momentum is undeniable. Then there's Cairns, but a tropical lifestyle destination. The median house price here, $650,000, but vacancy rates sit at just 0.7%, one of the nation's tightest. Rental yields are pushing 4.5%, 5-year price growth of 60%. Cairns benefits from tourism, the defense sector presence, and educational institutions. Cairns' airport upgrade, which is $80 million, is currently underway and has a population growth of 3.8% annually. Then look at Bundaberg, which is a wide bay region. Median house price here, $605,000, which is up 15.7% in the past year. Unit prices at $465,000, which is also up 20% annually. So why Bundaberg? It's got agricultural diversity, port activity, strong rental demand, and the affordability. Yield-focused investors are discovering this market really aggressively. So Rockhampton and Western suburbs show similar dynamics. Prices are still affordable, rental markets are tight, infrastructure investments are accelerating, population is growing. This is exactly where smart capital allocates when capitals become unaffordable. Looking at New South Wales regional markets are experiencing a quiet but powerful reshaping. Central Coast, just 1 hour north of Sydney, population currently 360,000 people. predicted to grow to 415,000 by 2036. That's 55,000 new residents needing 2,000 new dwellings annually. The population pressure plus constrained supply equals price pressure. Central Coast's median house prices are currently 15% in the past 18 months. Rental vacancy is approximately 1%. Yields 4.3% on the median properties. Coastal Coast benefits from Sydney's ripple effect. Families priced out of Sydney looking 1 hour north for coastal living at half the price. Gosford, the Entrance, and Terrigal are all key growth nodes. Newcastle and Hunter region population growth is expected to grow at 27% over the next 20 years. That's extraordinary growth for an established regional city. Newcastle's median house price is $830,000, but Newcastle suburbs like Cessnock and Maitland, further inland, offer better value. Cessnock is projected to grow 40% over 2 decades. The current median here, $460,000. Newcastle's economy is diversifying away from coal. Education sector is expanding, healthcare is growing, and technology and renewable energy is emerging as key employment drivers. Rental markets in Newcastle's region are firm. Vacancy at around 1.5%. Yields on outer suburbs at 4.2%. Now looking at Bathurst and Orange, which is central New South Wales regional cities, Bathurst's median price is $380,000. Orange median price here, $355,000. Both showing steady 3 to 4% annual growth. Why? Infrastructure investment, university presence, lifestyle appeal, affordability, population of each city, 40,000 and growing steadily. Rents are stable, vacancy rates are healthy but not excessive. These are explosive growth markets, but they're steady, safe, and affordable entry points for new investors. All right, looking at Gold Coast and the Sunshine Coasts. These are on the cusp of Olympics-driven transformation. Brisbane is hosting the 2032 Olympics. This triggers regional effects. Gold Coast, which is part of Brisbane's greater region, current median house price is $975,000. Forecast growth for 2026 is 4 to 6%. Units, $750,000. So what's the catalyst here? Infrastructure investment. Over $5.1 billion in Olympics-related infrastructure spending is flowing to the Gold Coast and surrounding regions. New stadiums, transport links, accommodation facilities. This spending creates lasting economic benefits beyond the games. Gold Coast suburbs like Southport, Labrador, Benalla, and Ashmore are all forecasts for price uplift. Infrastructure access, event facility proximity, improved transport. These boost both owner-occupier appeal and investor demand. Vacancy here, 1.8%, which is tight by Gold Coast historical standards. The rental market here is strong. Sunshine Coast, which is a lifestyle destination, 2 hours north of Brisbane. The median price here, $940,000, with units being $670,000. The growth forecast in this area is between 3 to 6% annually, with premium coastal suburbs like Noosa achieving 6 to 8%. Why? The supply is limited. Tight planning rules, lifestyle migration. Noosa specifically has high income demographic influx, tight rental market, and premium amenities. Rental yields on Sunshine Coast is at 3.8 to 4.2% on occupied properties. Investor units are even higher. Vacancy rates is at 1.4%. The Olympics effect flows north. Brisbane's infrastructure boom creates employment and confidence that ripples up the coast. Buyers, especially interstate migrants, see Sunshine Coast as accessible, affordable lifestyle with strong growth runways. So here's the critical insight most investors miss. Regional markets offer something capitals don't: simultaneous growth and yield. Compare that to Sydney suburb median $1.3 million. The gross yield, 3.2%. Annual capital growth forecast, 3.4%. The cash flow is compressed, hoping for modest appreciation. Whereas regional markets, where the median is $550,000, the gross yield, 4.4% to 4.8%, with an annual capital growth forecast of 6 to 12%. Strong cash flow plus robust capital appreciation. On a $500,000 purchase, that yield difference is $10,000 more per year. Over a decade, regional markets compound wealth faster than the capitals, both from cash flow and capital gain. That's why sophisticated investors are pivoting. Capitals offer safety and brand recognition, but regionals offer return, and return is what builds wealth. So here's your checklist for identifying regional opportunities. Number one, population growth is above 3.5% annually. Two, the rental vacancy is below 2% combined with yields above 4%. Three, median price is under $650,000. Four, the infrastructure investment or economic diversification is underway. 5-year price growth is above 25%. If a regional market ticks 4 or more boxes, it's worth serious investigation. Our data suggests Tasmania, regional Queensland, and New South Wales coastal regional centres all tick multiple boxes headed into 2026. So, as we come to the end of this video, if this regional perspective shifted your thinking, please hit the like and subscribe. Drop a comment with your top regional market interest, and we may analyze it in future videos to come. This is where real wealth is being built right now, not in crowded capital city markets, but in underfunded, overlooked regional centers with incredible fundamentals. And if you're ready to explore regional opportunities seriously, I want you to think about joining our exclusive members group, where we provide detailed regional market analysis updated quarterly. You'll get specific suburb recommendations, infrastructure tracking, and demographic data, as well as rental market intelligence for every major regional center. We also provide one-on-one guidance on regional acquisition, helping you navigate markets outside your home state with confidence and data backing. Book a call today. Let's position you in regional markets set to deliver high returns.